Hello YouTube, Retro Rewinder here, coming at you guys with another pickup video. I'm trying another different lighting setup. Somebody recommended moving the light to the side, and hopefully that would reduce the shadows that were behind me from the last video. So now the shadows are going to be on this wall, which you can't see anyway. So hopefully this lighting setup works even better. So this week I had a lot of really cool stuff to show. Actually, there's a lot of crap, but it's golden crap, and you'll see what I mean. So, if you have not seen these pickup videos before, I do a 4-phase format. We have the fodder, which is the stuff I'm not going to keep, the filler, which is just shelf padding, basically, the front row finds, which are the things I'm more excited to keep in the collection, and the find of the week. So, let's just jump right into this. At Goodwill, I was able to find a controller that I probably won't end up keeping because I only really need one for myself, and that is a Sega Saturn controller. This was only $3.99. Not too much to say, it's just a controller. Also, at the same Goodwill, I was able to find a Sega Dreamcast with no hookups, no controllers, nothing, and this was $10. And also at the same Goodwill, they had a PS2 Fat System for $15, and these are always pretty good just to flip for a couple bucks. Okay, I had some pretty good luck at the pawn shops again this week, so I was able to find Half Minute Hero for $3, Silent Hill Downpour for $9, and I just picked this up in my last one, which is what my last pickup video, which is why this one made it into the fodder pile. Kingdom Hearts Recoded, I believe I paid $5 for that. 2 copies of Final Fantasy Dissidia, $3 a piece on those. And at a pawn shop, again, I think I paid $2 for this, and that was Xenosaga 2. And it is complete with the bonus disc. I think it's a bonus disc. Disc 2, disc 1. Maybe it's just a 2-disc game. It did have both discs, so that's good. Okay, so this next bit of fodder is really probably the coolest pickup I've had in a while. All these games are pretty crappy, but they're for a system that is hard to find, which is the Philips CDI. Hey
guys, Retro Rewinder here. I'm actually on my way to pick up a Craigslist deal. That rarely happens for me. I don't remember that last time I actually bought something off Craigslist, maybe 2 years ago. But basically this guy posted a listing for CDI games. The only thing that it said was that he had 59 of them, and he only wanted $75. So pretty much I knew I was going to get it, but I didn't want to seem that interested. So I texted the guy, asked if I could have a list of everything, and he didn't want to send me a list. He told me to call him. So I went ahead and called him. He didn't answer, but then I sent him a text message and just said, hey, can you send me a picture of it? And he called me right back. So I was talking to him on the phone, basically told him that I didn't want to just buy it blind. I'd like to know what games came with it. So he listed off all 59 games over the phone. I don't know much about the CDI. I was basically listening for just a few games that I did know, and I thought that he said one of them. I asked him to repeat it, and he said it again. So there's a game that I'm really excited for, and I hope it's in there. And if it is, it's going to be a freaking awesome pickup video. If it's not, it's still going to be awesome because I'm getting 59 CDI games. And the even cooler part is, basically he lived quite a ways away from me, about 40 minutes. So I told him, it's a long drive, what would be the best he could do, and he told me $60. So I'm paying like $1.01 per game. So just for CDI games in general, that's a pretty solid deal. So once I pick up this stuff and get it paid for, I'll show you guys in the pickup video what it is.
This whole section is going to be filled with the fodder of the CDI stuff. I am going to keep a couple of the games, which you'll see later in the video. But if you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen that they came in this Coors Light box. 2 big boxes. So, if you, like I said, if you follow me on Facebook, that was on the mystery box picture that I posted. Those were CDI games. No one ended up guessing it, surprisingly. Somebody got close by guessing 3DO, but no one actually guessed CDI. Anyway, he only wanted $75 for all the games. There ended up being 59 games, I believe, and I talked him down to $60. So let's just jump right into this. And like I said, I literally know nothing about these games, so I'm going to go through them pretty quickly since there's so many. We have Video Speedway, Textiles, Treasures of the Smithsonian, ACT College Search, Compton's Interactive Encyclopedia, International Tennis Open, Rhythm Maker, Gifts to Behold, How the Rhinoceros Got His Skin, The Art of the Czars, CDI Music Book Classical Guitar, Pegasus, Flowers and Foliage. There's some winners in this video. Beauty and the Beast, The Riches of Coins, Rock Guitar, America, Paint School 1, Girls Club, Sailing, The Story of Jonah, Jigsaw, Amparo Museum, More Dark Fables, Battleship, Mystic Midway, Rest in Pieces, Moses, Busiest Neighborhood Disc Ever. Moving on to the second box. Zombie Dinos, Defender of the Crown, Caesar's World of Gambling, Moses the Exodus, Dark Castle, Laser Lords, Sesame Street Letters, CD Shoot, Palm Springs Open, On Their Own and You on Your Own, The Berenstain Bears, Power Hitter, Mother Goose, Sesame Street Numbers, Connect 4, Sandy's Circus Adventure, NFL Football Trivia Challenge, Pinball, How the Camel Got His Hump, Escape from Cyber City, Third Degree, Little Monster at School, Surf City, Inca, Daimo's Quest, The Wacky World of Miniature Golf, Name That Tune, Voyeur, Cartoon Carnival. He also had two games that he didn't have the discs for, but he did have the cases and manual for. So one of them actually I'm gonna hold on to. The other one I don't know what I'm gonna do with. I don't really care for it. But that's Hotel Mario, and this is the one I'm gonna hold on to, and hopefully I can find the game at some point. And A Great Day at the Races. And that's the end of that box. So yeah, like I said, most of those are probably pretty crappy, and I'm not really excited to have those. But a couple games I'm going to show you here in a little bit are the main reason I bought the whole lot for $60. So, moving on to the filler. Not a whole lot of filler this week, but there were a couple games that I picked up for really cheap just to have them in the collection. And that was Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box. I think this was $5. Another copy of Final Fantasy Dissidia. So I picked up 3 copies this week. That's why the other 2 made it to the fodder pile, because I also found this one. That was $3 like all the other ones. Jack and Daxter, The Lost Frontier. Another $3 game. And for $1.99, it's not complete, unfortunately, but the disc was in pretty good shape. And that's Taito Legends for the PS2, which has 29 original Taito games, so that was kind of cool to get. Okay, moving on to Phase 3.
Phase 3, Front Row Finds.
Which is the front row finds. sticking with the pawn shop theme, I got Rune Factory, a Fantasy Harvest Moon. I've heard pretty good things about the Rune Factory game, so I'm going to give that a try. This was cool to find at a pawn shop for $1.99, an Atlas title that looks really interesting, and that's Sky Gunner. Basically, it kind of looks like a shooter mixed with an RPG, possibly. It's kind of hard to tell by the pictures, but it looks pretty neat. The art style looks pretty cool. Okay, so this past weekend, I took in a huge box of crap, basically, to Disc Replay. Basically, it's stuff that wasn't worth selling online. A lot of really common Nintendo 64 games, PS2 games, that kind of stuff. Took it into Disc Replay, and they were going to give me $75 in store credit. There were a few things that I wanted to get, so I picked up the 3 I wanted, and then basically spent $30 of my own money. So right around $100 for the next stuff I'm going to show you. The first thing was a copy of PTO2 for the Super Nintendo, and they had this for $6.99, and I ended up getting this one free because they do a buy 5, get a 6th item free, so that's why I ended up picking 6 items up. So that one was the game I got for free. I also picked up a copy of Gilligan's Island for $6.99, and this is the reason that game was $6.99 was because this one was $6.99 as well, so I wanted to find another game that was on the same price level as this to get the most discount, or the most value out of the free game. Another game to add to the Resident Evil collection, and that's Resident Evil, the Outbreak, File 2. I don't know what makes it so different. I don't know if it's just like a second game in the Outbreak series or what. I'm not too familiar with the Outbreak series, so if anyone knows about that, you can let me know in the comments. Okay, so these next 3 games were all kind of contenders in the Find of the Week section, but I decided to do something different with the Find of the Week. So these 3 games are going to be the top, I should say, of the front row finds. So the first thing I got is a copy of Dracula's Curse. I love the Castlevania game, so it was really cool to get this one. This one, there's writing on it and there's some sticker, but I think I'll be able to clean it up nicely. And that's a pretty uncommon game, Uncharted Waters for the NES. And probably the most valuable game that I picked up this entire pickup video is a copy of Swordmaster. For Swordmaster, I paid $50. Uncharted Waters was $20, and Dracula's Curse was $15. So these 3 games were the top of the Disc Replay finds. But the coolest part about getting those 3 games is I did pay $50, $20, and $15, but they also came with the boxes and manuals. They're not in the greatest shape, unfortunately, but it's really cool to get these for the same price as loose. So for $15, I got a complete copy of Dracula's Curse. Like I said, the boxes aren't in the greatest shape. $20, Uncharted Waters. It's got some mildew or something right there. I think I'll be able to clean that up just fine, though. And the coolest one to get complete in box. If this box was in mint condition and it was complete, all of these have the manuals, but I think this one has something else that goes with it. So Swordmaster. This game would normally sell for about $250 with the complete in box, mint, everything there. So having the box, the manual, and the cart, I would assume it's probably valued at around $150 to $175. So really cool to add that to the NES collection. So 2 of the CDI games that I thought kind of deserved to be in the front row finds because I found them really cool was Tetris. I'm assuming this plays just like all the other Tetris games, except it actually has backgrounds like a forest. So I don't know if there's any difference between those, but that's kind of cool to get for my CDI collection. And a game, probably the game that'll be the most fun out of all the CDI games I picked up, and that's a copy of Alien Gate. I never heard of this game because I pretty much haven't heard of any CDI games, but from the pictures of it, it looks like a shmup. So that'll be pretty cool to try out. I actually have to fix my CDI. The drive won't open on it, but I think it'll be an easy fix. So yeah, complete Alien Gate. So at a pawn shop, there was an ice blue Nintendo 64. Unfortunately, it's just got the normal jumper pack, no expansion pack. But I was talking to the guy at the pawn shop, and I was telling him, that I collect older video games. He didn't have any out. And when I asked if he had any older video games, like, in the back, he said no, but he did have a Nintendo 64. And I almost told him not to even worry about it, because I probably wouldn't have bought it, because the pawn shops normally charge around $20, $25 for retro systems. But when he brought this out, and it had a $20 price tag, I was very interested, because the two systems that I would most like to have as an N64 to keep as my permanent system is the ice blue and the burnt orange. I forget what they call that one, but the orange and the blue. I've had an ice blue system before, but it did not have the expansion cover, so that really bothered me, so I just sold that one off. So I was going to use this one as my main one. Right now I have the great purple, and basically when it comes to the Nintendo 64s, I only keep one, so I basically just, get whatever one I want and then get rid of my previous one. So I am going to keep this. This is going to be my new permanent system. Unfortunately, it did not have the power, the AV, or controller. It was just the base system. And since it was just the base system, he actually lowered the price for me and sold this to me for $10. So that was really cool of him. So I now have an ice blue Nintendo 64 that I paid $10 for. So, moving on to the grand finale, the
Phase 4, the Find of the Week.
Find of the Week. So, the top of the CDI games that I was the most excited to find, and the reason I basically bought the whole lot, is because they also had a copy of Link: The Faces of Evil. They made 3 different CDI games in the Zelda franchise. This one is not the most expensive, but it's still around $90 game complete, and this one is complete in good shape. The outer cardboard sleeve has some dings on it, but I'm not too worried about that, because I paid $60 for 59 games, and this one alone is worth $90, so definitely the coolest thing to get. And the funny part about this is, when I went to pick up the system, or not the system, he didn't have a system. When I went to pick up the games, he did tell me that there was a game called Link. I wasn't sure if there was another CDI game called Link. That's all he said was Link. He didn't say Faces of Evil or anything. So when I picked it up, I was really happy to see that it was that game. And he told me that a guy called him earlier in the day and said that he would buy the entire lot as long as he had one game. And I was like, so what was the game he was looking for? He said, some Zelda game. And I just looked at him like, well, I'm pretty thankful that you didn't have any Zelda games, because I was glad to get this lot. So that was just kind of funny, because he did have a Zelda game, and he must have told that guy that he did not, because it doesn't actually say Zelda anywhere on the game. It just says Link: Faces of Evil. But if you knew anything about the Zelda franchise, you would definitely know that it is part of the Zelda franchise, even though it doesn't fall in any of the timelines, according to the Hyrule Historia. So that has been this pickup video for this week. A lot of games. I hope you guys enjoyed them. A lot of it was pretty hard to find stuff. CDI isn't something I run across very often at all. I have found 2 systems at the Goodwills, but as for games, I rarely find anything like that. So it was really cool to get the Link game and the shmup Alien Gate. Hopefully you guys like this lighting setup. I hope that it worked better on the side to reduce the shadows in the background. And if you like the video, make sure to thumbs it up. Thank you for everyone subscribing. And if you haven't done so already, go check out my 200 subscriber special. It's a Q&A. Basically, leave a question, or 2 or 3 or 50, however many you want to leave on that video, and I will answer it in my answer session. So this has been Retro Rewinder, and I'll see you next time.